Welcome to the deep dive.
Hey there.
So today we're grabbing a specific slice of time in the crypto world. We're looking at articles all published on CoinMarketCap just from June 2nd, 2025.
Right. And the idea here is to sort of sift through this particular day's news, pull out the main points just from these sources, and we'll see what picture they paint about the market as seen in these specific articles.
Yeah, and you really can't miss the main headline leading this collection. It's actually a guest post by the Crypto Times.
Oh, yeah? What's it say?
It asks a pretty big question. Pi network balances disappear? Has mainnet migration failed?
Wow, okay. That headline definitely sets a tone. Puts Pi Network right under the spotlight, doesn't it? Questioning their whole mainnet migration.
Exactly. The source talks about balances reportedly vanishing and flat out asks if the migration failed. So it's flagging a, essentially serious issue there, according to this report anyway. Really jumps out.
Okay, so that's one kind of story, potential trouble for a big known project. But what else are these articles talking about? Like, where else is attention going in the altcoin space on this particular day?
Good question. Let's see. Coinpedia News had a piece on Shiba Inu SEB.
Okay, what's the vibe there?
Well, the article suggests SEB's price is kind of stuck, that maybe investors are looking elsewhere, mentions more sell-offs, weak momentum, confidence shaken, that sort of thing.
Oh, any specifics?
Yeah, it actually mentions that whales are reportedly shifting funds to new plays. Even drops the name Unilabs in that context.
Interesting. So you have a well-known token like SU maybe facing some headwinds, according to that piece, and then reports maybe pointing where that money's going instead.
Seems like it. Coinomedia covers a few different things, SUI, Monero, and Qubetics.
Right. What's the take on those?
So for SUI, it says it's gaining steam, and it ties that specifically to, quote, L2 buzz, layer 2 scaling excitement, basically.
Makes sense. L2s are a hot topic. And Monero.
Presented as, like, holding steady, particularly in what the article calls the privacy markets. So stable in its niche.
Okay. And Qubetics? That name sounds familiar.
Yeah, Coinomedia focuses quite a bit on Qubetics. It highlights its real-world tokenization platform. It says that's driving, get this, over $17.5 million in pre-sale momentum, according to the source.
Wow, $17.5 million reported in pre-sale.
Yeah, and the article calls it the top crypto pre-sale. Pretty strong endorsement in that piece. It seems to argue that this link to, tokenizing real-world stuff is what's pulling in that pre-sale cash.
So that shows the diversity, right? You've got established coins maybe struggling, newer ones getting buzz from tech like L2s or like Qubetics, according to this article, from a concept like real-world asset tokenization.
Exactly, and it doesn't stop there. We also see a glimpse of maybe the more speculative side in these articles.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Crypto Newsland talks about BlockDAG, cites a price point. 0.000 is one.
Okay, tiny price point. What's the context?
Well, the article frames it with like rising market optimism. It asks if it's the best crypto to buy now. Even compares its potential to giants like Binance Coin, Tron, and Near Protocol.
Whoa. Okay. So positioning it as a potential like high growth play, comparing it to BNB and Near is quite a statement.
Yeah, definitely positioning it that way. And then just to round out the altcoin scan, there's a quick mention from coinlineup.com about FUCK.
Okay, interesting name.
Right. The article just states that Moonshot introduced it on Solana and it had a reported market cap of $9.6 million, according to them.
So just another data point showing the range, I guess,
Yeah.
from projects with specific narratives to, well, stuff like that. The mention of Moonshot and Solana kind of tells its own story, often associated with those faster, riskier launches.
For sure.
Okay, so we've seen project-specific stuff, different altcoin narratives, but what about the bigger picture? Did these articles touch on, like, wider market forces?
They did. That's important context too, right?
Yeah.
How does the macro stuff fit in according to these sources?
Exactly.
Well, BitcoinInfoNews.com had an article about global tensions, specifically China and the U.S.
Ah, okay. What did it say?
It reports that China issued some kind of warning amid these tensions, and the article claims this is impacting crypto markets and assets.
So that source is drawing a direct line between geopolitical events and crypto prices.
That's what it states, yeah. We're just relaying what the source reports here, obviously. But it shows that, external factors are being cited as market movers in some of these articles.
Right. And then what about actual money moving? Any reports on fund flows?
Yep. Crypto breaking news highlighted a 286 number surge in crypto funds.
Oh, interesting. A surge, despite maybe some selling pressure elsewhere, like with Ishive.
Exactly. The article notes that context saying the market saw fluctuations, but there was this specific scenario of significant inflows into funds happening alongside other pressures.
Any detail on where those inflows went?
Yeah, this is pretty interesting. According to the report, which references CoinShares data, Ether actually topped the list for purchases within these funds.
Ether leading the institutional inflows, huh? Okay.
So, okay, let's try and pull this together for you, the listener. Just looking at this one day's worth of articles, it's a real mix of signals, isn't it? All happening at once, at least according to these sources.
It really is. You've got a headline basically screaming potential crisis for Pi Network, a huge project, right?
Right. Then reports on established coins like Ashib facing sell-offs, while others like SUI, driven by L2 buzz apparently, or Qubetics with its real-world tokenization and reported presale success are getting attention.
And don't forget the more speculative and block DAG being hyped up, and even things like, well, FUCK coin popping up on Solana.
Exactly. And layered over all of that, you have these bigger forces being discussed. Geopolitical tensions impacting markets, according to one source.
And actual hard data, well, reported data, on significant money flowing into crypto funds, with Ether being a preferred buy, according to that CoinShares report mentioned.
It really paints a picture of just how multifaceted the crypto space is on any given day. It's not just one story.
Not at all. It's project dramas, it's shifting sentiment between different types of altcoins, it's new narratives catching fire, speculative plays, and these macro factors plus institutional flows, all swirled together based on what these articles are highlighting.
It really underlines how many different things can reportedly influence different parts of the market simultaneously, sometimes even in ways that seem, contradictory.
Yeah, exactly. It makes you wonder how all these different threads connect, or maybe how they represent distinct forces driving different segments of the market.
So given this snapshot from just one day, we've got project issues, fund flows, altcoin narrative shifting, geopolitical claims. The question for you listening is, how do you filter through all this information as presented in these sources to figure out what really matters in this incredibly fast-moving crypto world?
That's the challenge, isn't it? Something to think about as you navigate the daily news yourself.